Look. I know what you're thinking. Where do you get off reviewing a historic franchise like Halo? And I know we're not allowed to have our own opinions. I get it. It's fine. Halo Infinite is officially out now in its entirety. The multiplayer has been out for a couple weeks now, but the story dropped just yesterday, December 8th. And I have played through a vast majority of the campaign already because I am just addicted to Halo, apparently. I don't know. I haven't had this much fun with a video game in a while. Now, judging from the title, you might be thinking, well, if you're having so much fun, why do you consider this a masterclass in mid-grade? Oh, do not worry, dear viewer. I will tell you. Look, they have changed up the formula in Halo, which I will get to a little bit. Everything that you love about Halo in general is still there, okay? But they have done a little tweaks. So, completely spoiler-free review. Don't worry, no spoilers incoming. Just the beginning of the game. It starts with what I can only describe as some absolute shit occurring. Large-scale space battles, some like absolute Star Wars shit. It's solid, I guess. The visuals are impressive, as they always are. There's our man, Space Tim Tebow, arriving on the scene, absolutely just destroying Covenant, or in this game they are called Banished. I have to assume Master Chief looks like Rob Gronkowski underneath the suit. He is an absolute unit of a man, with just the absolute best space tricks in the world. Nothing better than watching grunts get shot. Then we are introduced to this big behemoth of a man. The brutes are back, and this dude is not your regular kind of brute. He is whatever their version of Jesus would be. Yeah, that's him. He is like the alpha brute. He has really sick armor, what looks to be an even sicker than normal brute hammer. Cortana is in the background just kind of like chatting it up. I don't know what's going on there. Look, the one thing I will say about this story is if you were like me and you remember absolutely nothing as to what happened in Halo 4 or 5, don't worry, as all will be revealed soon. Well, sort of.
My name is Atriox, and I am the last face you will ever see.
Well, we met Atriox here. He seems like a super nice fellow. He just threw a space Jesus off of a cliff for some reason. I don't know, this is an interesting opening to a Halo game. Typically, Master Chief is on top, but I guess this time he's downtrodden. This is the redemption story of Master Chief. Then we're introduced to our, I don't want to say secondary protagonist, but our main CPU friend over here. I actually don't know his name. Don't think they've given him a name quite yet, or if they have, I just kind of forgot already. Right now, he kind of looks like Chandler Parsons. I don't know. He seems to be one of the only surviving USMC members, or at least temporarily. He's some sort of Pelican pilot, not a warrior in any way, shape, or form. This man in no way, shape, or form deserves to even share the same air as the Master Chief. But as video games do, this will change, and he will become, I don't know, not really like your new Cortana, but at least like some sort of like AI or comms person that you will communicate with throughout the game. This is essentially your introduction to this guy in general. Now look, I'm all for human NPCs that Master Chief is in charge of saving, but I can't quite put my finger on it, but this guy just kind of sucks, and I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it's his whiny voice, I don't know if the fact that they had to cram this like wife and child thing in here to make me feel some sort of like remorse or like some sort of apathy for this guy's like plight. I'm not sure. I just don't like him, and if you like him, that's cool. I don't know what to tell you there. Now, a certain amount of time has passed. They don't really elaborate on this whatsoever, but I'm guessing it's like a couple weeks based on like how dirty this man has gotten and how much like hair and facial hair he's grown. I'm not like a expert on hair growth, but I'm especially in the vacuum of space, but I have to assume at least like 2 weeks has gone by. Like, I can't really grow facial hair that well personally as a 29-year-old man, so it's hard for me to really tell you how long this would have taken. It takes me probably like 6 months to grow even a remotely respectable beard. This guy, props to him, it seems to have only taken him like 2 weeks. But he's just been kind of locked here in this ship by himself which is not good. I have to assume he tugged at least a few times. That's just my theory. I know that's an odd thing to think of while watching a Halo cutscene, but like, what else are you going to do for this entire time besides like do push-ups and tug? This is basically prison. And Master Chief is just conveniently right in front of his ship, still with this little grapple shot out there, which is fun. I will definitely get to the grapple shot at some point in the near future. There's I don't want to necessarily say they're new. They're not really new. They've been in Halo past games, but some of the quote-unquote suit editions that you get. Now, these right here are my absolute favorite cutscenes in Halo games. When they bring Master Chief over and they let him stand next to the puny regular man humans, and you really get a sense of how massive this unit of a man is. I know it's mostly space armor, or whatever it is you want to call it. Relax, fanboys. I've played Halo since the first one. All right, I still don't know exactly what his armor is called. Yes, I'm aware of the technical name for his armor, but would you consider it space armor? Would you consider it battle armor? Does it matter at all? I really don't think it does. This is a pretty typical scene right here. You get to finally step into the shoes of Master Chief, and this is where your playing experience begins.
Yes! 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 We're going home! Oh, welcome back, Chief.
Look at this poor guy. He really thinks he's going home. He has no idea what he's dealing with right now. Does he really think that Master Chief is just going to head back to Earth? Absolutely not. He's got humanity to save and missions to take part in, and honestly, humans along for the ride that are about to get murdered. So, the main gameplay loop of Halo Infinite is quite different than past Halos. Instead of being a more linear experience with some wide open spaces and some non-linear level designs, we have a full-out Far Cry style map right now, complete with forward operating bases, enemy bases to raid, collectibles to find, squads to rescue. Then my personal favorite addition, which in addition to the multiplayer armor that you can find within the campaign, which I think is tight, the boss encounters. I love the boss encounters. You get to fight special, well, I was going to say Covenant, but banished, quote unquote, and they all give you special weapons. Now, these are various guys, the targets in general. I've already killed one of them. Shout out to Okro. Briglard High Sumder. Fantastic. Every time you go and deal with one of these guys, you also get Valor points. Valor points are used to essentially unlock stuff that you can get from the forward operating bases, whether that be like additional like USMC soldiers that'll come and help you or whatever, different weapons, etc. Once you go and kill some of these guys, you also get their weapons, which is cool. This is a boss grunt, which I think is hilarious. Like, he gives you an unbound plasma pistol. What it does, I'm not entirely sure. That's the one thing I will say about these that I do not like, and one critique that I will make here, is it does not even tell you what the special weapons do. Like, to a certain extent, it doesn't. It'll just be like, oh, it's more powerful. Okay, dude, tell me why it's a cool unbound sword. Can you let me know that? This game has also gone full Bioshock and chocked in a bunch of audio logs and Spartan logs and banished logs in case you ever wanted to know what's up with the enemy and what they're doing. And Forerunner archives. There's a lot going on here. It's a lot of collectibles. Basically, just boring stuff for the most part. I mean, I'm a huge fan of audio logs in most games, but I really don't care about them in Halo. I'll be the first person to say that. I'm not here for the audio logs. I'm here to kill aliens. Whether that be little squid-looking assholes or whether that be the little grunt guys, doesn't matter. As you can see, this is the forward operating base that I was talking about. Every time you visit one of these, which you have to unlock them by going through the map and retaking them, etc., just like bases in pretty much every Far Cry-like game. But you can go back here and you can get new soldiers, new guns. There is some like different type of guns as well. So there's like an upgraded battle rifle. You can get vehicles, pretty much anything you really want over here. And throughout the game doing other stuff, you can also unlock like Covenant weapons and Covenant vehicles here as well. And look, let's be real. That's the meat and potatoes of a Halo experience. Like, I'm going to go out on a limb and say majority of the people aren't really too invested in the story as far as what's going on. You know, this isn't The Last of Us 1, okay? This is Halo. The story's cool. I like the story. I don't mind it. It's cool sometimes when it's not like going way too far into left field like Halo 4 or 5. For the most part, it's fine. But the real reason I play Halo is to kill aliens. It is 100% the number one alien killing simulator in the entirety of gaming. The gunplay is unmatched, and that does continue throughout Halo Infinite's campaign and its multiplayer. Halo does gunplay better than almost any game. Look, you could point to series like Call of Duty and Battlefield as having superior gunplay. Maybe it comes from the fact that I grew up with Halo, and Halo 1 was really the first FPS that I ever got my hands on and I really played. Like, I played Unreal and stuff before that, but I think that was the first time I ever was engrossed by an FPS. So, potentially there's some biases coming over here from your boy Cheap Ludes right now, which is fine. Look at these little chicken things. I love these things. Now, traversal is fantastic in this game. I will say, one thing that the Halo formula lends itself to better than anything they've introduced into Halo Infinite specifically is the traversal. These wide open, non-linear maps are perfect for Halo style of movement and combat. I will say that 100%. Master Chief, like I said, is an absolute unit. This man can jump like 15 feet in the air. He would be the most dominant NBA center to ever lace up. You can run around. You have the grapple shot, which is super fun, of which you can upgrade by picking up collectibles and stuff like that. There's like a bunch of wildlife, which I think is really cool for a Halo ring to have. Not trying to spoil the story, but you are on a Halo ring. It is Halo. I figured you figured that out. But the grapple shot is the best part in this entire game. Look, the vehicle play is incredible. I will touch on that a little bit later. And the gunplay is phenomenal. As it typically is, I'm a battle rifle main, as you can tell. But the on-foot traversal is probably I don't know if it's the last time, but it's one of the only times, at least that I can remember, that I chose to be on foot instead of a vehicle. Like, legitimately. Because it's just so much fun being Master Chief, jumping 47 feet in the air and grapple shotting all over the place, and just running amok. Like, for lack of a better term, a terrorist. Because that's what he is. If you ask the aliens what Master Chief is, well, they do call him a demon all the time. I don't know what those little things are, but those are pretty cool as well. The reality of the situation is, every time this green-suited man shows up, it's another 9/11 for these aliens. And I just have to assume that they're pretty terrified. There's no reason they call him a demon. Aliens call him a demon, humans call him a savior, the banished call him like something else. I don't know. Gunplay is fantastic. I mean, it's never really been bad in the series, and I don't know if it just stems from the fact that I haven't played a Halo experience in a long time. I did play Halo 5, but I'll be honest, I did not play it even nearly as much as any of the other Halos. I even played Halo 4 more than Halo 5, and Halo 4, to be completely honest, was straight up garbage. That game was horrible. The Protheans forever. The Protheans were the worst thing that ever happened, or Prometheans. I can't even remember what they're called. I think there was another. One of those is in Mass Effect and one of them's in Halo. Okay, do not blame me, okay? They were the worst. Their guns sucked. The characters sucked. They were generic. They suck. Oh, man, I hate those things so much. I just wanted to rant about those for a little bit. I might have to do a whole video where I just trash Halo 4 because I despise it so much. There's just something oddly satisfying of punching these little guys in the face. I'm sorry. Even if you're new to Halo, if this is your first Halo experience, you will automatically feel the joy rushing within you every time you punch a grunt in the face and then it screams about how you're a demon. If you tell me that's not fun, you're lying. That is the most American fun you can possibly have in video games. It's great. Like, it's fantastic. The jackals are still annoying. I still hate them, little pterodactyl things. Despise them. Now, vehicle play. I want to talk about this for a second because Halo is also secondary to its gunplay known for its vehicle play. The grapple shot comes into effect because now you can literally hijack vehicles with the grapple shot, which is super tight and very, very rewarding. As per usual, the vehicles are fantastic. I'm going to go on a rant here about the Ghost here in a second because I have strong feelings about the Ghost. Not only is the Ghost lightning quick, it's also the most unstable possible vehicle that you could jump inside of, even more so than the Warthog, which makes no sense because it is hovering over the ground. But it will still manage to hit every single rock you try to go over, and I don't know why. Look, if they're going to make a vehicle, it's really fun when you hit grunts, though. Like, they go tumbling. The physics engine is fantastic. Why would you make a vehicle that hovers over the ground but can't go up rocks? What is the point? Master Chief is a Hulk. Obviously, he can just flip this thing like 47 times by himself. But, like, the Covenant, no wonder they lost. Why would you make this vehicle? This is the dumbest vehicle in the world. I sent that guy flying. Why? This thing can barely traverse rocks. What is the point of having a hovering motorcycle thing that cannot even get over the smallest boulder? Why would you not just put wheels on it? I have so many questions for whoever designed this piece of shit vehicle. Not the person who made it in game, but the little stupid alien who designed it in real life. I have many questions. You know, while I'm here, why can the CPU not drive me around in the Warthog? Why? Why even put these cool mounted weapons in the Warthog, of which I will never be driven around it? Why can't I just set a waypoint? Why can't they just go there while I ride in the back and I shoot stuff? Is that too much to ask? Apparently. You're losing a point for that, Halo Infinite. But look, that's not why you're here. You're here to send aliens to the Shadow Realm with a rocket launcher, and there is more than enough of that. Oh man, it's just so satisfying every single time. Here, let me do it again. I light up like a child who finally gets to watch Skinamax when their parents go to sleep every time I hear that rocket connect. I don't know, it's a visceral experience. And the gunplay in general, I know I've talked about it a bunch, but I can't overstate that if you're looking for fun run and gun gameplay, you literally cannot go anywhere else. This is the game for you. If you want to shoot shit with a rocket launcher, where else are you going to go? Hey, can you play another game that has a spiky, like, crystal machine gun? No. I mean, look, I know it's a needler. It's just the easiest way to describe it is the way I described it. Look, you, down in the comments, try to describe a needler. How would you describe a needler to someone who's never seen or heard of a needler before? It would be very difficult. What would you say? Oh, it's a SMG, but instead of bullets, it fires sharp rocks. Like, what is that? And this gun I wanted to highlight real quick. This thing, the Ravager, it just shoots, I think that's what it's called. I don't care, to be honest. It shoots giant railroad spikes at people. And it is a one-shot kill, but it is what I would consider to be one of the hardest guns in the game to consistently hit people with. Now, in campaign, not so much. It's a fantastic campaign weapon, much like the Spartan laser that came before it, which was also kind of similar in how much fun it was to use in the campaign and how utterly frustrating it was to use in multiplayer. Look, you're going to see that gun on the ground, you're going to be like, yes, dude, I'm about to rack up body counts with this thing. But you're not. Ooh, suicide grunts. Hee. Fighting the Banished in this game gives me more pleasure than I think anything, at least video game related, has in a very, very long time. It's just so much fun to just run around and just fight things as Master Chief. That much I cannot overstate. Now look, some of the new guns added in the game are not really great. This thing sucks. I hate it so much. But then sometimes I also love it. And you're going to find that to be the case with a lot of the new and kind of revamped weapons in Master Chief's arsenal. Now the other thing I forgot to note that I wanted to mention, and it's not really anything crazy, it doesn't have to do too much with the overall like review of the game, is that now the Banished will pick up human weapons and use them, which I think is really interesting. And when I say that, like, a grunt running at you with a shotgun is extremely funny. Now, typically they're not using it, it's on their back, but I just like the concept of it. The one thing I will have to chastise 343 on real quick before I get more into the review here is how they have done the plasma rifle wrong once again. They have not put the plasma rifle back into the game. I hate it. Put it back in the game. And let me dual wield. There's no dual wielding. So then we get to meet this guy. He's another big brute guy. His name is Bassus. He's pretty fun. I'm not going to tell you when this happens. It's not that deep into the story. It's very, very soon. What I did want to highlight was the new boss battle system that has been introduced to Halo, which I think is fantastic. Other people might not enjoy so much. I'll let you decide. Bassus here is not at all happy that you destroyed his brute brethren outside. Anyways, Halo has brought in a kind of RPG style boss system to a lot of the encounters here. Now you'll find the same thing when you go and do the, target enemies or whatever for the weapons and stuff. I'll be honest, I'm just on normal difficulty, so they're not very challenging. But I have to assume once you go up to the higher difficulties, they start to get super annoying because Halo games are not of the forgiving variety. If you've ever played a Halo game on high difficulty, they are not forgiving in the slightest. Oh, I also wanted to mention, if you haven't played the 4th and 5th installment of Halo, period, or just don't remember it like me, there's something with Cortana. I'm not going to go into too much spoiler territory here, but you actually have a new Cortana or something named Weapon. She seems to be much more cheery and kind of more helpful and less moody, which is, I guess, something. I know fans of the old games are going to be upset that it's not Cortana. I personally like Weapon. She is a cheerful AI. I like her. Now look, I know I have sucked off the campaign for the last 20 minutes, so let's talk about the multiplayer. The multiplayer dropped a few weeks ago, so I'm not going to go too in depth here because you guys have probably played it. Everything is locked behind a battle pass, as is standard with all games that release in 2021. So you can basically get nothing aside from like a couple armor modifications and the ability to swap XP challenges for free, basically. That's literally all you can get for free outside of like some visors and some other like stupid stuff. Look, I'm fine with the customization options being locked behind a paywall, mainly because I don't care. If you're someone who takes Halo extremely serious, if that's your main game, then you're going to want to fork over the $8.99 for the Battle Pass to make your Spartan look as cool as humanly possible. Now, the stuff here doesn't really intrigue me. I'm glad that it's at least just random cosmetic stuff. I mean, I know it's a battle pass. I figured they wouldn't do anything else. From what I can see thus far, there's no gun skins or anything, which is good. That will change. And that is when I might actually put money into this game, because I would like an American flagged colored battle rifle. You can get some like Halo Reach skins and stuff like that. You can get a helmet that's on fire. There's 4 main group types, I guess. Quick play, which is all of the modes. Bot boot camp, if you really suck and you want to just destroy stuff. There's also ranked and big team battle, my personal favorite. There is capture the flag, one flag, strongholds, which is basically domination, oddball, a returning favorite, and slayer. Not very many maps right now. There is, I don't know the exact number of maps to be honest, but none of them are returning classic maps. They might be some returning maps from Halo 4 and 5. Like I said, I don't remember them at all, like those games, period. We haven't seen a new version of classic maps like Lockout or Coagulation. You can tell that I stopped playing Halo a lot in Halo 2 based on the maps that I remember. I did play a lot of Halo 3, but Halo 2 is where it was at. That's the best Halo that's ever released, and if you say otherwise, you are a lying sack of shit. That's how I feel about that. Now, multiplayer is as satisfying as ever, and that's the one thing I can say about Halo 4 and 5 is the multiplayer, as much as I dislike the campaigns for those games, the multiplayer always holds it down. Always. Granted, the Promethean weapons in Halo 4 were absolute trash, and I wish they never existed. They were not particularly fun to use. They weren't fun to look at. They didn't sound cool. Nothing about them was cool, and nothing about them should have said that they should be in a Halo game. Now, the one thing I will say about Halo multiplayer that does frustrate me deeply is you don't ever stay in the same game after you finish. You go straight back to the menu, and you have to search for another lobby, which is annoying, but also could be good if you run into like some Halo MLG pros that teabag you every single time. At least that means you can escape them, which is nice. You're going to run into what I can only describe as the worst gamer tags you've ever seen in your entire life playing Halo. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's not like Cheap Ludes over here is a top tier gamer tag, but Balsamic 437 or whatever his name is definitely worse. Now, the movement on Halo multiplayer is fantastic. Aiming, shooting, everything's on point. I mean, Halo was the standard for multiplayer gaming for a long period of time for a reason. It all holds up. I would say it's still one of the most entertaining and fun. Even if you suck, this game is fun. And I think it deserves points for that. That's what basically catapulted Call of Duty to the status that it is today. And what catapulted Halo to the status it was before anyway. Is that no matter what your skill level is, if you suck, if you're really good. If you're just kind of meh, you will have a good time playing this game. Especially if you have Game Pass and you can download it for free. There's absolutely no reason not to do that. It's just the most fun you can have in a multiplayer game right now, at least in a shooter. You know what I mean? Even Call of Duty will get you spawn killed every 5 seconds. There's things that can be very annoying about it. You know, the guns you want to use are locked behind progression and grinding, etc. Look, this is a classic arena multiplayer game. It is the most fun multiplayer game, at least currently available on Xbox. Definitely, without a question, the most fun exclusive game that Xbox has access to at the moment. Like, by far. Like, it's not even close. It's the most fun you could possibly have with an Xbox exclusive game. Unless you're one of those people who really likes Quantum Break. I know there's like 4 of you out there that probably still hype that game for whatever reason. Look, I played it. It was okay. Now, get used to dying. Because in the multiplayer, you will die a lot. And guess what? It's never frustrating. Maybe during a really closely contested Capture the Flag match, which Capture the Flag sucks so bad, I hate it. It's an antiquated game mode, and nobody wants to play it anymore, and they need to get rid of it. Then again, it's in the game, so there's probably people who do like to play Capture the Flag. I suppose it's better than Oddball. But you know what? Oddball is at least, like, fresh. You know what I mean? It's at least like kind of a weird game mode you don't really see anywhere else, sort of. Okay, Capture the Flag is the most basic game mode to ever exist outside Deathmatch, and you really can't go wrong with Deathmatch because it's just match with death. That's it. But you're going to run into people who are just going to smoke you for no reason whatsoever, and this gun still sucks, all right? I hate it. I hate it. You got rid of the DMR for this pile of garbage? I'll be the first person to say that. You lose a point for that. Okay, well, to wrap this up, Halo Infinite is easily the best Halo experience that we have received since probably Halo Reach. And I would be willing to say that outside of the story mode, it is probably a better experience than Halo Reach. I'm a huge fan of Reach, but it also came out when I was 18 and I smoked a lot of mid-grades, so I don't really know if the game was good or if I just have incredibly wholesome memories of playing Halo Reach with my friends instead of going to college. I don't know. Maybe that's the case. Maybe it was a good game. Either way, this is without a doubt the best Halo game we've received since Halo Reach, for sure. No question about it. I know I've said it twice, but I want to reiterate that fact. Now, could I give it a number out of 10? And I would say no. And the reason I would say that is because it is hard for me to put beside my Halo fan biases to properly rank this game. What I will tell you is if you have an Xbox or you have a PC and you have Game Pass, there's absolutely no reason to not have this game. You need this game. Should you go out and buy a console to play this game? No. I would say no. I mean, if you're really interested in the Halo lore, if you're interested in the Halo multiplayer, then yes, the multiplayer, I'll give it a rating, 9 out of 10. It's fantastic. I could not be happier with it. Anyways, let me know what you think of Halo Infinite down in the comments below. It's been your boy Cheap Ludes, and I appreciate you. Mwah.
And I am the last face you will ever see.
This dude fucks, by the way. Just want to end it with that.